Hey everyone. So today we have notes, section 1-2 in the book. I know we don't have the book, but that's fine. This one we are going to name and draw angles. Okay. Go ahead and write down the title. And there's not too much definition, but we do have some examples, quite a bit of examples. So I was going to try to fit it all on one page, but then I thought, you know what, it's not going to fit on one page. So I put it on 2 pages. Okay, so first we have an angle, and an angle is formed by 2 rays that share a common endpoint. Now remember, rays was from the last section where it has a point on one side and then it has an arrowhead on the other side. So like here's a point and then an arrowhead. So that's a ray. So if we have 2 rays that share an endpoint, there's one ray going in that direction, and there's another ray going in that direction. That basically makes an angle. Okay, and the angle is usually noted by this little mark in here. It's like an arc, part of a circle. Okay, so that's the angle. Vertex, that is the name of the common endpoint. Okay, whenever we say, or if we ever talk about the vertex of the angle, that's this part here. That's the vertex. Okay, and then the sides of an angle, well, those are basically the 2 rays. This is one side of the angle, and this is the other side of the angle. And then again, that's the vertex. Okay, and the last thing from this is this little symbol here. This symbol means angle. Okay. Mathematicians are lazy. They don't like using words, or at least writing out words. So instead of saying angle ABC, we just use the symbol angle. Okay. I'd rather write this than that. Okay, so this guy here, angle ABC, would be referring to that, and that's how you would read this. This guy right here, it reads angle ABC. Okay, that's how you read that. And if you need time to copy it, pause it right now, and I'm going to move on to the examples. Okay. So then again, refocus. Okay, there's the examples. So for the first example, it says name each angle 3 different ways. And naming the angles, it's the same as like following the angle from point to point. Okay, they don't tell us which point to start at, but we can't start in the middle because we can't like go to this. You can't go to this side or follow this ray and then jump over and come to this side. Okay, imagine you have to trace the angle from one side to the other side without going over it again. The only way you can do that is if you start at one of these ends and then go back. And that's pretty much how you trace it, is how you name it. So the 3 names for this one, the first name would be angle. And again, if I wanted to trace this, I go across N to E to T. So that's one name, N, E, T. That's one name. Now if I started in the other direction, I would start up here and go across T to E and then down to N. Across T to E and over to N. Okay. Now hopefully that makes sense. You can't jump across this way. There is no line connecting N to T. You have to start at an end and then just kind of trace the angle. Now again, if the angle is by itself like this, or if we had something inside here, we can use even an easier name. Okay, now we don't have something in here, but this angle is by itself, so I could call it just angle E. Okay? Because technically this is where the angle is, right in here. Again, the angle would be, that's the angle. And then again, these are the three names. NET, or TEN, or just angle E. And notice E is, the vertex is always the middle letter. That's the vertex, that's the vertex. Remember, the vertex is over here, it's the shared endpoint. Okay. Now in this one, hopefully you see that there's two angles. There's this angle, and then there's this angle. So let's say the red angle and the blue angle. Okay, or angle 1 and angle 2. Okay, and that's actually how we can name these. So let me go with angle 1. I'm going to put all the angle 1 names here. So angle 1 is this side over here. Okay, and again, like I mentioned over here, if there's something inside the angle, like this number, that's how you can name it, angle 1. Sometimes there's letters in there, and you can name it that way. And then the other way to name it is, again, just go from one end, like if I'm over here, I go across F to 0, or to O, and then up towards U. So that would look like this. I crossed F, towards O, and then to U, right? F, O, U. And then the third name for that is just going backwards. O, U, F. Angle O, U, F. And again, when you trace the angle, the order in which you trace it pretty much tells you the letters. You go O, U, O, F, F, O, U. And there's O, U. Oh shoot, I wrote this one wrong. Nobody told me. Of course, because I'm sitting here by myself. U, O, F. U, O, F. And then F, O, U. F, O, U. Now again, I know these are pretty much talking about the same angle because O is in the middle, right? It's the vertex. And then the two-letter switch, it went from F-O to, I keep saying O, F-U to U-F. Okay. So anyway, those are three names for angle 1. Now let's give angle 2 the three names. So that's the first name, and then angle 2. Maybe I should do it in red. Yeah, let me do it in red, since I already called it the red angle. So angle 2. Angle 2, again, if I follow it or if I trace it, see here's the angle. But to trace it by the rays, it's R-O-U, R-O-U. And then if I go back in the other direction, it's U-O-R. Angle U-O-R. Okay. And real quick, I'm just going to say, like this one, we could call it angle E. I cannot use, hopefully you can see this, yeah, you can see this. I cannot use this one angle, and I'll tell you why. You can't call it angle O, because angle O, you wouldn't know if you're talking about this side or this side. Whenever the vertex is shared, see how O is in the middle of all of these? It's hard to determine which one you're talking about if you just use one letter, and that's why we don't use one letter when there's two angles like this. This is one single angle. I can go ahead and use just the vertex to name it. But when two angles share the vertex, you cannot do this. Okay. But I could use anything on the inside, right? So hopefully that kind of makes sense. I know I messed this dude up with the OU and UO, but I know I was saying it right. I probably just didn't copy it down right. So again, if you need more time to copy this, pause it. I'm just going to lower this and keep going. So then it says draw and label each angle. Okay. Angle TAN, angle BIG, and angle SML. Now again, real quick, the middle letter is the vertex. So you can think of like this. And the angle, they don't tell you how big or how small to make it. What matters is you have two rays. See, that's one ray, and then that's the other ray. And then there should be 3 dots for the 3 points. And then you just go in order. T, A, N. Okay. I'm going to show you just another. This is a perfectly good answer, but I'm just going to show you a different one. So let's say kind of the same angle. I could have done this. Instead of saying TAN, I could have said NAT. Okay? So this is just another option. What matters here is A is the vertex. Okay? It's in the middle. It has to be the vertex. See, it has to be in the middle this way. And I guess we can put this mark on it to say that's our angle. Sometimes you see this in the angle, sometimes you don't. That's not such a big deal. Let's go with BIG. Again, I'm just going to draw my angle a little bit different just so you guys can see various angles. There's my 2 rays. I have this ray and that ray. That's the vertex. Then I'm going to put 2 more points up here. And then BIG, again, just start at one of the ends. You can't start in the middle, it has to be at one of the ends. And just go B, I, G. And then that's the angle. Okay? Again, let me mark it off. And then the last one, hopefully this is starting to make more sense. That's my first ray. That's my second ray. And again, just SML. SML. And that's the angle. Okay? So that's how you draw. We drew it and we labeled it. Label it just kind of means put down the letters where they belong. You have to remember this middle letter is the vertex. Like I would consider this N to be in the middle of these two, right? And the I to be in the middle of B and G. So that's it for these notes. If you need to pause it now. And then we'll do some examples. Or we'll do our assignment.